building and driveway envelopes and other areas necessary for site improvements, considering the development options available under the zoning ordinance. Again, this is a very unique site with very unique requirements, and the adequate and feasible development of the site requires clearing in large swaths. So the grading activity on the entire site is inherent to the site's use, and so the entire area is deemed as part of the development. The fourth criterion is that where the proposed activity involves residential development, the residential structures shall, to the reasonably extent feasible, be designed and constructed to use the natural features of the site. That's irrelevant in this case because there is no residential land use activity that's under consideration. Additionally, the removal of trees for which a tree removal permit is required shall be limited to a few instances, the first of which is relevant for this case, which is that when necessary for the location of the structure or site improvements, and when no reasonable alternative location for the structure or improvements exists, can be had without causing undue hardship, consideration of all development options which are available under the zoning ordinance. So as previously discussed, any proposed use of the site will really involve clearing large portions of the site, especially saving for the perimeter locations. I want to now go into sort of a summary of the requested conditions that I have for the Planning Commission related to the analysis that I've just stated. The first of which is that if and as requested by staff to validate the location for tree clearing, the applicant shall meet on site with myself and potentially other staff. The second is that a 25-foot wide landscape buffer does need to be preserved along I-275. So within that, that's relevant for a few of these trees, as well as the hatched area highlighted here, the northwest corner. So there will need to be an assurance that that area is preserved, and that's actually included in the buffer between that hatched area and the property line on this drawing. So that is being accounted for, but we want to make sure it's noted as a condition. That a 50-foot wide landscape buffer is maintained along the site's course road frontage. That green belts are planted in accordance with the township landscaping requirements. And a note about tree removal permit fees. There is an administrative fee for tree removal permits that will need to be addressed with this application. It should be noted, though, that there is also a tree replacement fund that the township has, but that is not relevant to this case because there's funds already that have been provided for all the landscaping and clearing activity on the site in lieu of those newer requirements for tree removal fees. It's also worth noting that the action by the township tonight is not, of course, supersede any required permit from the state of Michigan or any other government bodies. So with those comments in mind, I recommend to the Planning Commission that you can proceed with a recommendation to grant the tree removal permit to the applicant. I'm here to answer any questions from the Planning Commission or from members of the audience tonight on that request.
Thank you so much, Director Howard. Do we have any questions from the Planning Commission for Director Howard? Yeah. All right. Is there anybody audience that would like to comment on the agenda item? Like, yeah, please step up to the podium again.
We need that handout.
We need the.
So Dan, the red dots represent trees?
That's right.
Okay, and where's Ecorse?
South of this image, and I can probably find it better.
Is that the golf course?
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Do you have any other? Yeah, I see you hand in the back.
Yes, my name is William Taylor. I live at 4109 Talking Street, 9475. I don't see Hannah Road on here. I'm assuming that doesn't have any effect on it. This line right here, is this Hannah Road right here?
Hammond Road is off screen, so Hammond Road there's an entire portion of the site that's out here, and based on this scale,
Okay.
I'm probably standing in Hammond right about here.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So if you have anybody else who'd like to comment on this agenda item? Any of you have other questions and, anything else to be We'll be ready to take action on this agenda item.
Well, Mr. Chair. Well, at this time, I would move to grant the applicant, James Hammond of Waste Management of Michigan Incorporated, a permit for tree removal at the site located at 39670 East Course Road, based on the analysis and subject to the conditions detailed in the letter from staff, Dan Power, Director of Planning and Economic Development, dated January 7th, 2022.
I'll support. Commissioner Collins, thank you so much. Do we have any comments or discussion regarding the motion? Aye. We'll do a roll call for wording that.
Sally Barr? Yes. Sherry Bud?
Yes.
Medina Atkinson? Yes. Brian Cullen?
Yes.
Jeff Starr?
Yes.
Brian Kelly?
Yeah. And the motion passes. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Director Power, for the presentation. Thank you. Yeah. This brings us to general discussion and updates. Do you have anything for general discussion? This is the perfect time if anybody would like to speak in some public comment about some items. Dr. Taylor, you think you had, yeah, please come up. Thank you so much for being patient.
Thank you too for all that you're doing for the city of Belleville, Buren Township. I love my house. I love where I am. And that's why I'm here. You may not have the answers tonight. And I thank this gentleman for making me aware that they were someone, I don't know what the process is, and that's why I'm here to ask the steps in the process for rezoning the area at the corner of our service drive. My house is right there on the corner. And so when I heard about that, I was just traumatized because I know what it will do for my property value. And I've invested a lot. My husband and I have invested a lot in our home. And so I'm real concerned about this. So I don't know if you can tell me what the status is on that. I hope it's not too late. I don't know what the process is.
Director Power, questions regarding the process for rezoning. This is regarding a letter that we discussed at our last meeting that we received from a proposal that we discussed. I believe that, so this is regarding, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, I'm assuming that I just.
Proposed gas station, rezoning of the partials. That's what she's talking about.
You'd like to answer this question?
Thank you very much for making your comments. That's a very good question. So the Township Planning Commission is a forum for a lot of public feedback and public input. And sometimes that means we have an opportunity from a person interested in developing a property to come in and introduce themselves and have a sort of an informal discussion with the Planning Commission. And so at our last meeting, we did have the owners of the 4 parcels in that area to the northwest of the intersection of the South I-94 Service Drive and Aggie Road speak to the Planning Commission about a land use concept on about 2.5 acres of land where the Lake Hotel is. That included a gas station, a restaurant use, and a couple of other small commercial uses. That was a very preliminary introduction. And as was discussed briefly at the meeting in December, these properties are currently master planned for single family residential land use in the future. And all but one of the parcels are currently zoned for single-family residential land use in the future. So in order for those properties to be developed for anything commercial, they would have to undergo rezoning. And one of the most essential criteria for rezoning request is consistency with the township's master plan. And so if somebody like the gentleman that came to the meeting in December would like to pursue a land use idea like that at that property, staff have made it clear that doing so would require an amendment first to the township's master plan and then an amendment to the township's zoning map, to the rezoning. Both of those processes are very involved and would require a lot of design and conceptualizing and a lot of public feedback from the applicants, public feedback solicitation from the applicants. So there would be 2 required public hearings and presumably a lot of opportunity for public feedback before we even get to a public hearing point. So just to be clear, there is no formal application provided to the township at this time for either a master plan amendment or rezoning. Only preliminary discussions, and we offered the applicant a chance to, the owner a chance to come and speak to the planning commission. It's at a very preliminary stage, and there's been no formal application either for the future land use plan amendment or for the rezoning at this time. So if there's further development of this idea, all the nearby neighbors are certainly going to hear about it, and you'll also see notification in the newspaper as well before there's even any decision making by this body.
When is he supposed to come to talk to you? Do you know when that is?
The owner of the property?
Yes.
Director Power, could you restate the question? I couldn't hear it.
The question was, when is the owner of the property supposed to come and talk to us, township staff? And they can talk to staff anytime. And so there's an opportunity to reiterate what I just spoke about, the criteria of changing the master plan, criteria of changing the zoning ordinance. They can speak to me at any time. But right now, they have not applied formally for anything that's going to go in front of the planning commission.
I want to also provide a clarification. Any landowner is free to approach the township.
This person we did.
Sorry,
Grant Township.
I forgot. I thought it was loud enough. So any property owner is at liberty to approach the township and explore their ideas for what they want to do with the property. When they approach us, as Director Power said, the property is currently zoned mostly single-family residential. It is master planned for single-family residential. The applicant can ask us, what is the process if I want to put in a commercial use? We are obligated to tell them that this is the process. Just because we outline a process does not imply that the township supports or denies the use. We have to let every landowner have their due process. So when Director Power got the applicant before the board to present their concept, it does not in any way, shape, or form imply that either the planning commission or Director Power or the consultants are in support of the concept of the project. The applicant wanted to present their idea, they're welcome to present their idea. We told them if they apply for a rezoning, it will be a straight denial because under state law, if your request for rezoning does not match the master plan, we simply cannot recommend approval. So their next question was, so what can we do to change the master plan? You can ask for a master plan amendment. Would we support the amendment? Probably not. That is the time when we will seek feedback from all the residents. So the reason I provided this is, I don't want you to get worried that because an applicant came and presented their concept idea before this body, or that Director Power advised them, you can apply for a master plan amendment, that we are in any way, shape, or form giving any kind of hints that we are okay with the use. We will outline the process for them. It is their prerogative to apply for the process, and based upon the feedback of this, you make a recommendation to approve or deny the request. So at all points of time, you will be informed. Rezoning requires public hearing, not just in the newspaper, individual notice mailed to your house. So please don't get worried that the applicant requested the ability to come and talk to the board, and they're at liberty to do that under public conversation. So just don't want people to get worried when they hear like, oh my God, it's going to be rezoned, there's going to be a gas station. No, we are very far away from that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Christian. Thank you, Director Power. Yes, we have another comment.
My name is Joanna Price. I live at 4119 Court. My question is, what are, because of the body of water, the DNR, as some say, that what is allowed to be near it for, not just for our lake, it's for the waters downstream, do we know what the regulations are? Regarding something like a gas station and how close a proximity it could be to, is that something that we know?
One of the approval bodies at the time when they applied, if they should come to the point of applying for site plan approval or something. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You're doing such a good job. It's the math, I think, are-
I'd also point out that there's a public component on the Zoom.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
and without being in the video camera and on the microphones, they miss out. We don't
Thank
want that.
you, but just, not responding, so, if at all a project comes to the stage of site plan approval, at that time, one of the components of it is engineering approval. And under engineering approval, if the property is within certain distance of a lake, or if there are any wetlands that can possibly be impacted, the agency that gets involved is EGLE. It previously used to be called MDEQ, Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. They now changed the acronym to EGLE. It's Environment, Great Lakes, Energy, it's what the whole big acronym, but basically they do the same thing. So yes, they will get involved, especially when it's something that has got an industrial or a commercial component with hazardous materials. So the engineering review looks at all of those components. It's not merely the site design, there's a lot more when you're putting stuff into the ground. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a question. Dr. Taylor brought up a question of notification. In a rezoning request for any parcel, there's a requirement, township, it might be state requirement, for individual notification for any property owners that are within a certain distance of a parcel
Yes.
being considered for rezoning. Do you know off the top of your
Yes.
head what that requirement is?
Under state law, any request for rezoning, which is considered as an amendment, requires publication of a notice in a newspaper of general circulation no sooner than 15 days, no later than 30 days before a meeting, and individual notices have to be sent to all property owners within 300 feet of the subject property. So individual notices will be mailed and the notice will be published in the newspaper between 15 and 30 days before the actual meeting.
Thank you.
Give another regard.
I feel like we're all gonna get our workout today for making it to the mic. So pretty simple question. Is there any reason why the Jiffy Lube hasn't started construction yet? Didn't they get final approval back in like April or May or something a while ago? I was just wondering why that hadn't started up yet.
Yeah, we're seeing just some issues with supply chain and different material availability with different projects. This is a project where we've recently gotten the easement documentation for getting the water lines and sanitary lines in place for the project. So they're very close to a pre-construction step in what they need to submit. So we anticipate they'd be able to get started quite soon. Once,
Do you have any other questions or comments or general discussion from the public?
Then we go on.
Yes.
Your price, still at 4119. I'm sorry, but it's hard to get over this we were away, we come home over the Christmas vacation, and we hear about there's gonna be a gas station. We read it in the newspaper, so, you know, it gets you boiling and gets you going. I'm just gonna throw this out, and I'm gonna continue to write my letters to Ms. Power here, and maybe a few of your other people, if I can get your email addresses, be careful who you give it to. My question relates to, we have a long-standing daycare center just a few plots down on the service drive from this potential location. In doing some quick research this afternoon, there are some rules that I could find easily that said no alcohol. And I'm reading in the newspaper that this gentleman wants to put in gas station, party store, grab and go, whatever you call it. To me, that means possibly beer and wine and whatnot. So, and to help this gentleman get off of this bug, is it proper to give him some heads up about maybe this isn't gonna work and maybe you shouldn't spend more of your money, maybe you should spend more of your money investing in the property and putting homes on, which is what it's what it's built for already, and move on with your life. He bought the property 20 years ago. He purposely waited for the motel. He finally acquired the motel. It was obvious he was going to try to flip it, but he's right in the middle of a residential area. There's a gas station that I think is under proposal less than 2 miles away on the other side. So do we need that gas station? Do we need this mobile gas station that's been sitting vacant for 15, 20 years? It looks not as bad as the motel that's on there, but it looks pretty bad. If we have a need for gas, let's recondition the mobile gas station and get that up. And how about, oh, by the way, let's put electric plugs in there for my electric vehicles, you know? So I'm just saying, why wait for him to come back and spend his resources, do him a favor and say, hey, look at something else. Switch properties with the guy in the mobile station if you want. Then you can open your gas station. Sorry, but I'll try to keep my letter short. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Good job, Sam.
Do you have any other comments?
All right, that's a tough act to follow there, Tim, but I'm Tim, 466 Lakeview Court. I failed to compliment the park, this isn't what I'm looking for, but I failed to compliment the parking right. Good job, guys, the parks are looking great. And, would love to see a dog park and a, number 3, what was number 3 on the list?
More programming.
No,
Events,
skate park.
skateboards.
Skate park, I've seen those in Florida, man, they're awesome, kids love them. Anyways, I'm up here to put a record that I am against the rezoning. I know it's not on anybody's agenda, but the rezoning of the 3 parcels from residential to commercial, if it ever comes to that. For a lot of reasons, one that Tim did mention, or the doctor here, is that that's a very dangerous curve. I have to turn down that road to get to my house, and this is blind spots. So it's dangerous. We can't even get a bus stop there for the kids. So to add that extra business there would be very hazardous. That's it. Have a good day.
Anybody else for general discussion or public comment? Do you have any comments online or anybody that's?
I do not have any virtual comments from our remote public link. Thank you for asking.
Chair, I appreciate all the comments regarding that development. I just want to ask you guys, if it would help you tremendously to review the meeting that happened on December 8th of 2021 with this, for this parcel. So look at that, and that should probably help answer more questions for you. And what, as a board, what we ask of this applicant.
Thank you so much. Any other questions?
I would like to thank the public participation this evening. I think this is the first time we've been back in the boardroom for, well, a while. And it's really wonderful to be able to sit here and listen to your comments. We value all of them. And I know it takes a lot of effort to get up and stand in front of the podium and state your name for the record, but it really helps us and we appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you, Director Powers and staff for putting all this together, getting all this set up and together. Did an amazing job getting us here and trying to keep everybody spaced out. And having that live meeting for the first time. If you have no other comments from the public, no other comments, you ready for a motion to adjourn?
Oh, sorry, just one comment. There was a good question about the status of one of the development projects. So there was a good question about the status of one of the development projects, Jiffy Lube. So I'll plan at the next meeting. There are a number of projects that are open, either in pre-final plan review stage with the planning commission here or the pre-construction stage. So I'll try to get a summary of where a lot of those projects stand. The planning commission is always doing great work to review thoroughly all these development ideas, and sometimes they get stuck in various stages of final design and review. So I'll try to get a better summary of where all these projects are.
Thank you so much.
One more comment. With that, if you could please find out what's happening with the mobile station. I know that recently, I think it was just back in November, we heard that they were working again, but we need to get that moving, because it has back there. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anything else? Motion to adjourn? All we adjourn. Tomorrow in favor? Aye. You're adjourned. Thank you so